Good morning, happy Saturday, and welcome to another episode of my Writer Corner. Uh, Once again, I skipped a Saturday. Last week was nuts. 6 days a week at my day job for 2 weeks straight, 3 weeks straight. I don't remember. It's all kind of a blur. I called in sick on Tuesday. Got cold cocked in the head by a resident last night. A day off I spent editing what I was hoping was the final draft, and come to find out I need to write at least another 100 pages to make everything worth it. I went through a couple of my chapters only had 5 pages, 6 pages, 8, 10, and then Blythe's storyline had no less than 15 pages on its shortest chapter. So everybody else deserves to be heard, and each storyline is important to the final outcome. So yeah, about 100 pages that I need to write before the 21st of December. So, about a month, 100 pages. No big deal, because then after that I start back to college, so that I can move onward and upward in my day job and save myself while I still can. Yeah, I spent my downtime yesterday in my day job after I had run through and busted my hump for the vast majority of the time. And I was hoping, I thought that I had, a couple of smaller notebooks that had all of my writing in it, everything that I thought I had written about what I wanted to put into this second book, and I can't find any of them anywhere. So, yeah, mildly frustrating on that point. This little disruptor is trying to cause trouble and knock over my tripod and camera and all of that fun, happy nonsense. Because, she's a cat. She's a kitty cat, and that is what she does. She wreaks havoc, despite her mama loving her. But, so 100 pages. It's going to require a lot. But I have every faith in myself that after I get done with this, I am going to sit down and get it together and get on with it and do some more work and have this ready for publishing. My other little side hustle is starting to turn out pretty well. I have a handful of people at work who are interested in my boba and making a couple of bucks here and there, which is kind of a good thing considering my car insurance is ridonkadonk, and I have bills, and calling in sick has knocked back my hours. But I've been informed that I need to start taking my own health a little bit more seriously and worry about taking care of myself and let that place fend for itself, and so yeah, my day job is what it is, but the one thing that I can control is my book and how and when it is published. My amazing art goddess sent me some cover art work the other day, and it got me so excited about it. We've been back and forth about it, so that should be ready in time. Now hopefully I can get myself together and have my book ready on time, because yeah, 2 years is 2 years is a lot in between. I know. The great George R. R. Martin has, you know, significantly more than 2 years in between his book releases, but I am not George R. R. Martin by any stretch of the imagination. I am not nearly so loquacious, verbose, elegant, incredible, whatever. I'm not a best-selling novelist. We'll go with that one. I know Martin, Tolkien, yeah, they've influenced me in a lot, but I try to keep it simple because it's easier to read that way. And I'm doing my best with this whole world building thing too. Every time I write a new installment of my world building blog, things seem to go a little bit better for my writing, make things easier. Sorry, the tinies are trying to wreak havoc now. But yeah, the world building blog has been helping with a lot of things in my books. And things are expanding and improving gradually. But I really need to get it together and knuckle down and get this done because it has to happen. Simple as that. I don't want any distractions when I go into my first semester of college after 25 years. So, yeah, there's that. And considering that the midwinter solstice is the primary holiday in my book, I wanted to release it on that day. You know, kind of an homage, a nod, a point of respect for the day. But, sorry, need to caffeinate. But, yeah, even Kaylin's storyline is lacking in what I want it to be. But the shortest ones seem to be everything that's going on with the royal couples, especially, and the monster war with Corporal Vargas and his warriors 3, as it were. But yeah, I seem to have a stubborn kitten who doesn't want to behave. So hopefully that'll help encourage her to behave. But so in this particular book, Kaylin, the last surviving elf princess, has been thrust out into the world with her single bodyguard and decides to go into the freelance, which at that point in the story is a vast plainland that is dotted with independent city-states built around the, dozen or so wandering willows that sprang up around the rivers in an otherwise relatively barren grassland. And she and her bodyguard run afoul of what amounts to a small tribe of Mongol warriors. Now, I have named them Vakaran, and they do have their own traditions and whatnot, but I did draw strongly from the Mongolians and that whole culture there. It's always fascinated me, and so I wanted to pull that in. But so that's her storyline, living in the Freelands and as elven nobility, doing what she was born to do, conquering the tribes, bringing them together, and ruling. And all that that entails, the excitement of being the first ever female chief of the nation that has been 7 separate warring tribes for centuries because of sibling rivalry. The Elven Civil War doesn't get nearly as much attention as I'd like to give it, and I have every intention of changing that as well. But Blythe and Mythos, Lirin and Jamian, those storylines are relatively well developed. I don't expect that I'll be doing much work on those. But Isadora and her betrothed, Prince Glaive, her brother, Prince Gordon, and his betrothed, Princess Anya, there is significantly more work that I can do with them. While Glaive and Gordon are away from the war because Mythos and Blythe are trying to get aid from the Nishanese emperor. Princess Anya has sort of upset the apple cart, as it were, and gotten Isadora thinking about the people of her country, and especially those within the capital who are most affected by this war, primarily the children, and how things can be made better for them and for the whole kingdom, quite frankly, while planning the royal weddings and the great midwinter festival that the crown has always been so well known for. So that whole thing is going on. And then, of course, there is Varkus, Corporal Varkus, Mythos's Phantom Knights, and that whole little army there, everything that that entails, and their continued efforts to rout the monsters and discern the driving force behind this assault on the kingdom. And the different integral characters who have moved into the forefront of that storyline, and how they are coping with everything that's going on, how they are processing their new roles in leadership, how they are learning to handle their abilities during the war. And then the Elven storyline with the Elven Civil War and Sevlin, Mythos' twin brother, especially as he is scattered throughout several different storylines, and how he's coping and getting on without the fiery redhead who has so enamored him. But also the way that Tarek, the deposed king, is handling his brother Rene's coup and the battle, and the guerrilla warfare that is going on with that whole affair. bringing the different elves together, collecting the nation, as it were, those outside of the capital, um, and helping them to understand why he and his father were doing what they were doing before Renee staged his coup. So, yeah, I know it doesn't sound overly exciting. And some days I really struggle with writing, but it's gonna come out. It's gonna be done, and I'll be able to let my brain redirect and refocus, and yeah. So once the book is released, I am going to end these recordings for a little while. Couple of months most likely, because college is going to demand my undivided attention. So thank you so much for following me. Like and subscribe below, and stay tuned for more exciting news about the Royal Emissary and how that book is coming along. Have a safe and wonderful Saturday. Bye-bye, y'all.